Welcome to your evening news.
With me, Camille. Our top story today is global warming and the effect it has on the rest of the UK. Here we have our local environmental expert. What's your name, Steve?
My name is Steve, and thanks, Greg. It's great to be here with you on this fine news programme to discuss such a wonderful issue.
That's enough. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about global warming. So here it goes. So what exactly is global warming? What causes it?
Well,
When
Greg,
it finished?
global warming is essentially caused by the greenhouse effect. You've probably heard of greenhouse gases. CO2, CFCs and the like. Now, when the sun's rays enter our atmosphere, they cause the surface of the Earth to heat up. This heat energy then radiates out into space, while some of it is trapped by the greenhouse gases.
But this is a normal process, isn't it?
Well, yes it is. However, as we release more and more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, through industry, cars and the like, we cause the greenhouse effect to increase. That means more heat is trapped in the Earth's atmosphere than before, causing temperatures to rise.
Ah, I see. So, if the temperatures continue to rise and global warming takes effect, how would it affect the people living in the UK?
Well, as global temperatures rise, the weather is going to change. The main effect that it will have on us here is that rainfall patterns will be different. Summers will become drier, and winters a great deal wetter. This would then lead to severe weather becoming much more common.
So, what kind of severe weather are we talking about here, Steve?
Well, all sorts of severe weather. Literally all the severe weather. But if we're going to talk about one specific kind of severe weather, then I think the one that will affect the general public the most is flooding. Whether that's flash flooding, intentional flooding, or severe flooding. It's all going to be a problem for the people who don't like water. It'll drive water resources into the ground and above. And it'll also cause water bills to rise dramatically.
Oh. And
agriculture.
on the topic of agriculture, we have our main reporter Eddie on the field talking to one of the local farmers. On to you, Eddie.
Good evening. You join me tonight in a field where I'll be discussing climate change with the locals. Jeff has been kind enough to give his insight as a farmer himself. Jeff, how are you tonight? Jeff? Hello? So Jeff, how has climate change affected you?
Well, for the most part, the weird weather's been making it much harder for me to grow my crops. The lack of rain during the summer and the flooding long before, that meant my harvest this year was much worse than I had ever had before.
That's really shocking news, and one that we've heard far too often. And Jeff, this must mean that you've had to increase your prices as well.
Yeah, I have. Since I have less to sell, I need to charge more in order to make enough money. It's only a little increase, but if things were to get worse, I don't think I could charge much more than I already am. Especially when large farms are still able to charge what they always have done.
So Jeff, with the entire finances of your company, your farm and your family in disarray as a result of this horrific ecological event, what do you see for the future?
My current farming methods won't be able to handle climate change.
But in lieu of that, do you not see any way to adapt the methods, not only you use, but also the other farmers in the country, to deal with the current situation?
But I could adapt.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, but up next we have a story about no survivors found after a tornado in a graveyard. Up next, the weather.
Hello, I'm Izzy, and this is your weather report. Rain